I'm ready. Okay, bye. So my husband, he comes in and he starts the video and everything for me. And there was something weird. There was something weird on the screen. So it looked like there was like something in front of my face. So I'm like dodging it. But anyway, side note, my husband comes in and he starts the cameras, camera 1, camera 2, and he starts the podcast recording. And then he runs out. And today we're living on the edge because it is currently 7:59 p.m. and he has a Zoom call at 8 p.m. And so he's like running because he has a Zoom call with Tony Horton, like hanging out, doing his thing. I don't know what they're doing, but he's committed to these Zoom calls. And I have respect for that. But I had to laugh at him because here we are, we're doing this late. Today we're talking about sales. Well, we could talk about sales all day, but today we're talking about a specific sales question that has been posed in a few different ways, but basically the gist of this sales question is, how can you tell the difference between someone selling for the sake of making money and selling authentically? Or selling with integrity is another way to look at it. And so when it comes to sales, I know there's so many different opinions out there about what is good sales, what is not good sales, how should you be selling, how shouldn't you be selling. Now, when I think of sales and doing it the right way versus the wrong way, some people like to think of something that my friend Colleen, a term she pointed me to, which is bro marketing. And to me, this isn't a textbook definition, but to me, bro marketing basically means that you are kind of twisting someone's arm and just kind of coercing them to do something without really making it about them and their best interest or really empowering them to make the best decision to purchase. And so there's a lot that goes into bro marketing. We could probably even do an entire episode of that. Maybe I'll talk to my friend and see about getting her on the podcast. That's such a good idea. But for our purposes today, when it comes to thinking about, right, sales and how to differentiate yourself, if you're worried that you're coming across inauthentic or sleazy with your selling, this is one of the most important things that you want to think about. So to me, in my opinion, selling inauthentically basically means that you are trying to make a sale for your own benefit by any means necessary from any individual necessary. Oh, that was one of my kids trying to open the door. That's what you just heard. But authentic sales, in my opinion, that textbook definition, if I were to give it one, would be only selling someone a solution for a known problem in which that individual is making an informed and empowered purchasing decision. So those seem like two entirely different things by definition. Yes, I agree. However, sometimes that line can get blurred based on our activities. So how I like to kind of make that line more defined and more clear is when you go into a sales conversation with the intention or the thought of, I need to make this sale. If I don't make this sale, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I miss this goal, if I miss this marker, I don't know what I'm going to do. That, in my opinion, is inauthentic sales. That's inauthentic sales, right? Because you're only thinking about yourself, and that's the only outcome that matters. Nothing else matters. And so when you go into sales conversations that way, not only is it not good for the person that you're talking to, and it's really not going to involve them making a good decision, and they're likely going to say no, even if they want it, but it's also doing a disservice to yourself, because when you go into a sales interaction thinking only about yourself, what it means to you, and you're so hung up on the outcome, you're missing out on the opportunity to really communicate your solution and your message, which is why you're in business anyway, right? It's for the message, the core meaning behind why you're here and why you're showing up. So when you go into the sales interaction, one of the biggest tips I have for you is to detach from the outcome. That's one of the biggest things. Do not let the outcome mean anything about you or mean anything about anybody else. It just is. And when you can go into sales interactions saying, whether they say yes or no, I just want it to be either a heck yes or a heck no, because when they make an empowered decision about either way, it's what's best for them. And when you detach from the outcome, or what someone said to me once and I loved it, you just hit the reset button and you continue on. When you get so hung up on a sale, right, or someone saying no, that you are noticing that it's negatively impacting other areas of your business or other areas of your day, then that is a sign that you're approaching a sale, right, inauthentically. So number one, detach from that outcome, which ties into perfectly tip number 2 of really differentiating authentic sales from slightly questionable sales is, are you doing more listening or are you doing more talking? Because active listening is such a key component in selling and in selling with integrity, right? Because when you're asking questions, right? When you're in the sales process and you're asking the right questions to pull things out from the person who's making a decision, it's their talking that helps them make a decision. When you go into the sales conversation, your job is not to convince or beg or try to get them to say yes. Your goal is to help them make an empowered decision either way. So what does that mean and what can you do, right? So you're active listening. And the reason why you want to be active listening is, of course, taking notes and helping come up with the best solution that you have to offer that solves their problems. But what else is really, really powerful about active listening is when you paraphrase back what they said to you and say, just to make sure I am on the same page as you. So basically what you're telling me is you want ba, 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 ba. Is that correct? And so you're going to say it differently than they said it to you. And what's really powerful is when you actively listen and paraphrase back, they're often going to say, wow, you can communicate my problem better than I can. And that is one of the first stages to trust. And that is also a micro conversion of them saying yes to your offer. And again, it's not because of what you said, it's what they said that you packaged and presented to them in a different way so they can confirm interest. Which ties in again perfectly to tip number 3 is, are you not only confirming interest, but are you confirming, right, what solution they feel they need to solve their problem, right? Because someone comes to you with a problem and they likely have an idea about a potential solution. So one of the most powerful things in a sales process you can ask someone is, what type of support do you feel would best help you with this? Or if you and I were to work together, what would you anticipate or what would you like to see from me in order to help you? That way, they tell you exactly what they want, right? And going back to that tip I just gave, we're actively listening, we're paraphrasing back. Something like this. Perfect, Sally. So if I were to put together a package that would give you this and this, you'd be ready to get going right away, right? She says yes. That's confirming interest. And it's not just confirming interest in purchasing from you, it's confirming interest in the solution that you're presenting to them, which is again, insanely powerful. And that's another micro conversion, them saying yes to themselves, them saying yes to making a purchasing decision and purchasing a solution that's going to solve their known problem. And then my final tip of the evening, again, of really differentiating yourself and making sure that you are selling authentically and selling from integrity, is make sure that what you are offering is what is in their best interest, not what's necessarily on promo or on sale or that gives you a better bonus. In so many industries, there will be people telling you, ooh, push this item or only sign someone up with this. But again, that's making a purchasing decision for them. And your job is to facilitate, right? Helping them make the best, most empowered decision for themselves. That is good sales. So when you offer something that doesn't necessarily fit their needs best, but maybe it fits your own, that is not selling from a place of integrity, because you're thinking, right? You're thinking only about yourself and not them. So based on their needs, right? And this is, you're not making any preconceived ideas. Recommend what they need best, even if it's more expensive, even if it's less expensive. Because when you say, hey, these are the options, but here's the one that I recommend and here's why, it shows that you are listening. It shows that you were looking out for their best interest. Because what a lot of people do is they approach and say, ooh, this is a value. Ooh, you get a discount here. Or ooh, this is better. That's not what you need to be presenting to them to make that decision. They get to decide what the best value is. They get to decide if it's a sale that they want. Your job, right, is to present viable option and say, I recommend this one and here's why, as it relates to the questions that you are asking during the sales process and what they said they needed that you were actively listening for to develop your hypothesis of what to recommend. But here's the thing too. You say, I recommend this. Here are the options. Put that empowered decision-making ball in their court. What do you think? Or you could even say something like, between this and this, which do you feel like is going to help you get to blank, right? Because even though, yes, you are the expert, it still shows massive respect to put the ball in their court and say, hey, what do you think? Because honestly, if they're all confused, they'll ask questions, but ultimately they're likely to put the ball back in your court and say, I trust your opinion. Then you can move into the close confidently and effectively from there. So I hope that these tips on really differentiating yourself from selling just to make money and selling authentically was helpful. Please go ahead and tag me on Instagram stories and tag me at Kayla Ibanez. Tell me what your favorite part about this training was. And please, I am always looking for recommendations on what you would like to see coming up next on the Stop the Hey Girl podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and also on my YouTube channel, which, by the way, if you're not already subscribed, subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notified each time I upload a new video, a new training. We put up a new video every single week, every single Thursday. And of course, on the audio podcast, you get a brand new episode every single Tuesday. So we get to hang out all the places all week long, and I get to help you grow your business, which is so, so exciting. The links will be down in the description if you are on YouTube, and I cannot wait to see you next week. So that's already off, and now this one is off too.